In one session at Princeton, I changed the values of many people. They walked out discussing this for years thereafter, and I still get letters today. I went into an area of New York called Hell's Kitchen. The kids there were considered very bad. And the social worker used to wear a necktie and eyeglasses. And anyone who wore eyeglasses when I was a kid was a sissy. And when you wear a necktie and a suit, and you're talking to these kids in rags in the slums, they look at you as an outsider. You're unacceptable to them. So I put a wire recorder out in the front office. And after the social worker talked to the young boy, by the way, they made guns out of water pipe. And how many of you knew that? They didn't go and buy guns. They made them. And the social worker picked the gun out and he said, "You're going to take someone's eye out, wind up in a state penitentiary, hurt your mother and father. You want to do that?" Well, the kid says nothing at all. Then when the kid walks out, I make a wire recording of the way he talks to his friend. Hey, he's a jerk, the guy up front, the social worker. Then I walk over to the social worker. "How'd you make out with Johnny?" "I had a good talk with the boy. I believe we established rapport." "How do you know that?" He says, "I felt it intuitively." Then I play the tape. By the way, it was a wire recorder. I play the tape of the kid's answers. And he says, "I'm grateful so-and-so." I said, no, just say, "I don't know how to get to Johnny. I know how to get to Billy. I've tried 8 different methods. None of them worked." So I said, "Watch what I do next week." I walked in the office, picked up the gun, and I said, "I understand you made this gun." He said, "I told the guy I made it last week." This is in New York City. I used to make recordings of this. I wanted to use it in a film later. And I picked up the gun, I'm looking at it, and I'm shaking my head. He said, "What's the matter with it?" I said, "Come here. The damn pin is 1/8 of an inch off center." He says, "Yeah." And I said, "If you put a couple of washers on the side, you can move the pin right on center." He said, "Hey, do you work here?" I said, "What, with those jerks?" "Nah." "Can I bring my friends over to meet you?" That's people like him with similar values. Then you go to work in their terms, not your terms. Real psychology has to be related to the real world, not theory, not lab experiments in schools where you're not in touch with people, where you don't get the feel of people, where you don't get the sense of their identification with the world around them. I have changed many of those kids. And I brought a gun in for them to look at and said, "I made this gun." "Wow," they said. "I sure would like to be able to make a gun like that." I said, "Well, I can help you do it." "You can?" "Well, what do I have to do?" "I have to learn how to draw a front view of a gun, a side view of a gun." I know I'm going fast and over a lot of drawings. You have to make 3 views to the gun so it can be made. He said, I'm going to learn to do that. So I set them up on a drafting table, and I took them from guns to water skis to other things. Today, a lot of them are engineering draftsmen. Because they told me that the kids, they only had an IQ of 24 or something. You can't get to them.